Namaste, and welcome to our continuing series on Savitri. We are in Book 1, the Book of Beginnings, Canto 1, the Symbol Dawn, and, as always, with our beloved Ranga. We begin on page 8. A dark foreknowledge separated her from all of whom she was the star and stay. Too great to impart the peril and the pain, in her torn depths she kept the grief to come. As one who, watching over men left blind, takes up the load of an unwitting race, harboring a foe, whom with her heart she must feed, unknown her act, unknown the doom she faced. Unhelped, she must foresee and dread and dare. The long foreknown and fatal morn was here, bringing a noon that seemed like every noon, for nature walks upon her mighty way, unheeding when she breaks a soul, a life. Leaving her slain behind, she travels on. Man only marks, and God's all-seeing eyes. Even in this moment of her soul's despair, in its grim rendezvous with death and fear, no cry broke from her lips, no call for aid. She told the secret of her woe to none. Calm was her face, and courage kept her mute. Yet only her outward self suffered and strove. Even her humanity was half divine. Her spirit opened to the spirit in all. Her nature felt all nature as its own. Apart, living within, all lives she bore. Aloof, she carried in herself the world. Her dread was one with the great cosmic dread. Her strength was founded on the cosmic mights. The universal mother's love was hers. Against the evil at life's afflicted roots, her own calamity its private sign, of her pangs she made a mystic, poignant sword. A solitary mind, a worldwide heart, to the lone immortal's unshared work she rose.
So, just a brief recapitulation of what we had. Sri Aurobindo begins with the beginning of creation and he calls it the dawn. So it's at a universal level and he is describing the dawn of creation. And how does creation come? First of all, there is an involution. The highest reality, Satchidananda, plunges itself and involves itself through the process of involution into the opposite of himself. And then slowly he is rising. But because it's the opposite of himself, the enemy is not easy. It's not a pretension. It's a real enemy. So it's a very, very big fight at the inconscient level. Constantly the light is trying to wake up the involved divine in matter. But it is not succeeding because the resistance is very great. So this goes on for 2-3 paragraphs and pages. He goes on describing this fight. Slowly, it arises. It's an evolution which goes on for eons and millenniums. It goes on. Then finally, he comes to a dawn which is in time and space. This was the dawn outside time and space, the beginning of creation. And now he comes to a dawn which is in time and space. And it's a new section. And he begins with, and Savitri too awoke among those tribes. Yeah. And Savitri too awoke among those tribes. So he has come down to a dawn in time and space. And he is now describing Savitri. He has not yet told us who Savitri is or what she is. He is just giving us a few hints. And also he is not revealing fully what that dawn is. It's a dawn when Satyavan is going to die. But he slowly builds up and he reveals the why it is special only in the last line of the canto. So it's a sort of like a mystery story. The last, the denouement is revealed only at the last level. Okay, so this is what he saw. And he has described also Savitri. She knows that this is the day when Satyavan will die. So she is calm and quiet in the beginning, and she is not at all, she is so plunged in herself with a sorrow that she is not at all bothered about the world. She is completely disconnected from the world. That was there, what we read last time. So now, we start today from a dark foreknowledge separated her from all of whom she was a star and stay. So, we don't know who the star and stay were for Savitri, but we know who the star and stay was for Mother. Okay, so the whole ashram set up, but no one knows her. She is divine, but no one really knows her. You may accept her theoretically. In reality, very few sadhaks knew about her. Some had glimpses of her divinity. Some saw light coming into her. Some saw her divine form, but not all. That also Sri has mentioned, that some woke up to her the light that she had. So, a dark foreknowledge separated her from all of whom she was the star and stay. The word stay is support. She is supporting all these. And that support comes later on also. Too great to impart the peril and the pain. Impart is to inform, to let it be known. So, she is not telling anyone of her pain and the peril, the danger that she is going to face. In the torn depths, in her torn depths, she kept the grief to come. The grief to come, again he is giving a hint. Sri is giving us a hint. And her torn depths, torn with what? Torn with the pain that she is going to lose Satyavan. She kept the grief to me. As one who, watching over men left blind, takes up the load of an unwitting race. Okay? Harboring a foe whom with her heart she must feed. So this is an interesting image. She is the leader and she is the support of a race who doesn't know that she is going to suffer this, nor do they know her divinity. Unwitting race. Harboring a foe whom with her heart she must feed. Okay. So she has to. Who is the foe? Again there is a hint here. The foe is the death which is going to come. That's the. And she has to face this foe. Unknown her act. Unknown the doom she faced. Unknown to others around her. Her surroundings, the star and stay, the others who were there with her. Unhelped, she must foresee and dread and dare. So, unhelped, alone she must stand and do this work. What is that work? He is going to reveal to us. The long, foreknown and fatal morn was here. So here it is. He is revealing, but what that fatal morn, he is not yet telling us. Only at the end of the paragraph he will tell us what it is about. Of the canto. The long, foreknown and fatal morn was here, bringing a noon that seemed like every noon. There is a pathos in this. When you lose a or you are about to lose someone very precious to yourself, the world doesn't seem to care. It just goes on in its own daily. Everybody goes about their business and nobody is sharing in your sorrow. It's a very, you feel the world is so cruel. There's no response to your sorrow. It seemed an ordinary, for her it's not an ordinary day. But for all the others, it's just a noon like any other day. That's what it means. Bringing a noon that seemed like every noon. For nature walks upon her mighty way, unheeding when she breaks a soul, a life. Leaving her slain, behind she travels on. The one she has killed, slain is here noun, and the one she has killed, she doesn't seem to bother at all. She goes on with her daily routine. It makes no difference to her who is dying, nothing. As you see it, the one who is suffering, you see the cruelty of the world. No sympathy at all. Everybody is going about their business as though nothing has happened. This is the implication here in this. Bringing a noon that seemed like every noon, for nature walks upon her mighty way, unheeding, not caring at all, when she breaks the soul alive. Leaving her slain behind, she travels on. Man only marks, and God's all-seeing eyes. Now this is a very interesting phrase, and if you have to be a little grammatical minded, but otherwise you will not understand this sentence. Okay? Man only marks. Man is seeing only the limited thing. Savitri is seeing and bothered only about the death of Satyavan. But God is seeing everything, and for him, and nature also. This one incident is nothing in the huge overall picture. Now let's go into this. If you tell me, God's all-seeing eyes. This is the sentence. Now, what is all-seeing eyes? How do you read them? In the beginning I thought eyes is a noun. God's all-seeing eye. All-seeing is the adjective to eyes. Yes. It is not. Because if it is like that, it makes no sense. It is to be seen like this. The sentence makes sense if all-seeing is a noun and eyes is the verb. I'm telling you. Then it makes sense. Man only marks, that's a verb. God's all-seeing, his sight, his universal sight, sees. Eyes means sees. So man is only seeing a little bit, God is seeing everything. You have to see it in that way. Otherwise, grammatically, it makes no sense. You look carefully, you will see again.
It has always made sense to me. It has always made sense to me.
Not grammatically.
The vision of the divine sees everything.
Yes.
Man only marks little things.
That's right.
Points.
But you have to see it. Where is the verb for God's? Man only marks. The verb is marks and man is the subject. God's all-seeing eyes, it's hanging. If it's a whole the compound noun, it's hanging. So man only marks events, but God's all-seeing, his sight, his universal sight, sees the whole. So eyes is a verb here. You see it again and you will see. Then it makes sense. The sentence makes sense. Otherwise, there is no verb for God's all-seeing eyes. God's all-seeing eyes does what? What does it do? There is no verb. Even in this moment of a soul's despair, in its grim rendezvous with death and fear, no cry broke from her lips, no call for aid. So she is still nursing her pain within her own breast. She is not telling anybody at all. Okay? She told the secret of her woe to none. Calm was her face, and courage kept her mute. You will often see Sri using alliteration for effect. So here also you have calm was her face, and courage kept her mute. 3 times the sound ka is coming.
Okay. Yes.
Yet only her outward self suffered and strove. Inside she is calm. Okay. Even her humanity was half divine. So even her body-mind life, the outer nature, is half divine. Inside,
and self suffered and strove, again, alliteration.
Pardon? Yeah, that's right. Self suffered and strove. Yeah, that's right. Even her humanity was half divine. Her spirit opened to the spirit in all. The next 4 or 5 lines he is describing the cosmic consciousness. Okay, her nature felt all nature as its own. Everybody else's nature also is her own. That's typical the cosmic consciousness. Apart, living within, all lives she bore. So she is bearing all lives within herself. Aloof, she carried in herself the world. This is the perfect example, the description of a cosmic consciousness. So that's why I went to the Sri sonnets and how he describes the cosmic consciousness. Okay, so you will see the parallelism here. The poem is called The Indwelling Universal. Now note the parallel meanings. Okay. I contain the wide world in my soul's embrace. In me, Arcturus and Belphegor burn. To whomsoever living form I turn, I see my own body with another face. Absolutely a echo of this, what we are seeing now. All eyes that look on me are my soul eyes. The one heart that beats within all breasts is mine. The world's happiness flows through me like wine. Its million sorrows are my agonies. So, the rest is also there. I'll finish the poem. Yet all its acts are only waves that pass upon my surface. Inly forever still. Unborn I sit, timeless, intangible. All things are shadows in my tranquil glass. My vast transcendence holds the cosmic world. I am hid in it, as in the sea a pearl. So, this is exactly what he is describing here for Savitri. She is obviously in the cosmic consciousness. Aloof, she carried in herself the world. Apart, living within, all life she bore. Absolutely the same meaning, the cosmic consciousness. Her dread was one with the great cosmic dread. So, he has said there, the million sorrows are my sorrows. So, here again, not only everybody's pleasures and happiness, but also the sorrows. Everything is there in the cosmic consciousness. Her dread was one with the great cosmic dread. Her strength was founded on the cosmic mights. So, everything. It can be dread, it can be heart, it can be her strength also. There is a relation between her and the universe. The universal mother's love were hers. So, it's also strength and also her love. Everything is there. The universal mother's love was hers. Against the evil at life's afflicted roots. So, which are the roots? The inconscience. And what is it afflicted by? It's afflicted by ignorance, suffering, inconscience. This is what is afflicted by. Okay. Her own calamity, its private sign. She is bearing this universal affliction in herself, in a private sign. Of her pangs, she made a mystic, poignant sword. Now, that's interesting. The pain that she had, she is turning it into a weapon. And what is the weapon she is going to use against? She is going to use against death. That's the implication given. A sword is something in which we fight. So, her pain is driving her to oppose the one who is causing this pain to her. So it's an indication of what her role is going to be. She is going to fight death. It's beautiful. Of her pangs she made a mystic poignant sword, a solitary mind, a worldwide heart. So she is one, but she is also the universe. That's what he says. To the lone immortal's unshared work she rose. There you are. So with her sword she is rising to do the work which is not shared by anybody else. But that work is whose? The lone immortal. So the lone immortal, the one at the highest level, has a work to do in the universe. What is that work? Evolution and going upwards. And she is going to now share in that work which nobody else is sharing. She is going to share in that work. So, to the lone immortal's unshared work, she rose. I am going to do that work. And what is that? Nature is not cooperating in any way. Nobody is sharing in that work except herself. She rose.
At first, life grieved not in her burdened breast. On the lap of earth's original somnolence, inert, released into forgetfulness, prone it reposed, unconscious on mind's verge, obtuse and tranquil like the stone and star. In a deep cleft of silence, twixt two realms, she lay remote from grief, unsown by care, nothing recalling of the sorrow here. Then a slow, faint remembrance, shadow-like, moved, and sighing, she laid her hand upon her bosom and recognized the close and lingering ache, deep, quiet, old, made natural to its place, but knew not why it was there, nor whence it came. The power that kindles mind was still withdrawn. Heavy, unwilling were life's servitors. Like workers with no wages of delight, sullen, the torch of sense refused to burn. The unassisted brain found not its past. But now she stirred. Her life shared the cosmic load. At the summons of her body's voiceless call, her strong, far-winging spirit traveled back to the yoke of ignorance and fate, back to the labor and stress of mortal days, lighting a pathway through strange symbol dreams, across the ebbing of the seas of sleep.
So, this is the description of her condition. So, he has told us very clearly that she is Divine Mother come down into the physical world to do a work. She is going to start that work, and the instrument, it is her pain that is driving her to do this work. And the work is that of conquest of death. Okay. So, to the lone immortal's unshared work she rose. At first, life grieved not in her burdened breast. So, she is so indrawn that life is not, there is no sorrow in her burdened breast, and life is in the outer nature. So, outer nature, there is no grief as yet. Okay.
But so, I think that we have to remember also that she's a young girl.
She is?
A young girl.
Yes.
Maybe in her teens.
Yes.
And so these things are not burdening her as yet.
Yeah, that's right. her burdened breast. But the implication is that she is more concentrated within.
Yes.
Okay, so at first life grieved not in her burdened breast. Then slowly she comes back to the waking consciousness of the physical world.
Yes.
And then the pain comes in.
Yes.
That's what the description. On the lap of Earth's original somnolence, they are very clear. Earth's original somnolence is the normal nature of man. It's a somnolence. It's a sleep. Spiritually, we are asleep.
Sleepiness.
Huh?
A sleepiness.
Yes.
Yes.
Half awake. That's what it means.
Yes.
So that is a perfect description of our outer nature, body-mind life. Okay, on the lap of Earth's original somnolence. Inert, released into forgetfulness. Okay, prone, it reposed, unconscious on mind's verge. So, what is the inert and released into forgetfulness? Life. Okay, and what has it forgotten? That it is coming from Chit Shakti. Life is a reflection of the conscious force. Life here is this is very clearly mentioned in the Life Divine. The life here, the prana, okay, the vitality in you is a fallen condition of the conscious force at the highest level. But it is forgotten, then it is that. Inert, released into forgetfulness. Okay, it has been, the conscious force has been released into forgetfulness. It is life. And that life is now not remembering. It is still not affected by the sorrow. Prone, it reposed. It is life. Reposed, unconscious on mind's verge. So the word prone is interesting because face down, absolutely defeated, sort of. Okay, and supine is face up when you are sleeping. So the word prone has got implications in poetry. You are defeated. You are down. Okay. So, in a deep cleft, obtuse and tranquil, like the stone and star. So the word obtuse is also interesting. You have to see it's the opposite of acute. So something 90-degree angle, if it is less than 90 degrees, it is acute, it is sharp. And obtuse is, if it is more than 90 degrees, it is wide, it is diluted, it is diffused. So that's what it means by obtuse. Blunt, open, not intense.
But tranquil.
Yes.
Like the stone.
Yeah, that's right.
Star.
Tranquility is spread out, okay? So, like the stone and star.
But it's unconscious on mind's verge.
Yes, that's right. On mind's verge. That's why somnolence is not a full sleep, nor is it full awakening.
Exactly.
Mind's verge.
Yes.
In a deep cleft of silence, twixt two realms. What are the two realms? You can say in many ways, the upper and the lower, spirit and matter. She is in between. She is divine, but she is now awakening at the lower level, so she is in between. That's the suggestion.
Now, Sri Aurobindo uses the word twixt.
Yeah.
Because it's one beat.
Yes.
And between would be two beats.
Yeah.
So to keep the iambic pentameter,
that's right.
He uses the word twixt.
Twixt. in a deep cleft of silence twixt two realms. That's how it's a iambic pentameter. And in a deep cleft is a gap, a chasm of silence twixt two realms. The realms were very clear, spirit and matter, the higher and the lower. Okay, so and she is in between. She lay remote from grief. She is not affected by grief yet. Unsawn by care. The word unsawn is very powerful. Sorrow actually kills you, cuts you, lacerates you.
I asked Aurobindo Basu about this because one time I could not understand that. He said cut.
Yeah.
Not cut by this care.
Yes.
Unsawn.
That's right. And care also, you have to interpret correctly. Okay? Care here means anxiety, worry.
Yes.
It's not the normal care that we understand. Okay? It's got a secondary meaning. So here it is unsown, because the worry and the anxiety is cutting her to bits. Okay? Unsown. Nothing recalling of the sorrow here. So she is still remote from there. She is in between. She is not down absolutely yet. Nothing recalling of the sorrow here. She is remote from grief. Okay. Then a slow, faint remembrance, shadow-like moved. So from that height, she is slowly coming down and waking in the physical world. And then the sorrow will now, at the lower level, she will feel the sorrow. Okay. A slow, faint remembrance, shadow-like moved, and sighing, she laid her hand upon her bosom and recognized the close and lingering ache. So now she is aware of that ache. Now she knows that yes, Satyavan is going to die, and that sorrow is now aching in herself. Okay. Deep, quiet, old, made natural to its place. This lingering ache is very natural at the lower level. It's in its place. At the lower level, it is there always. Deep, quiet, old. It is something that is always there. Old. It's not something new. If you are in the lower consciousness, it is from ages and ages, this is a plane of suffering. That's the implication. Old, ancient, not new, something new. She felt that. But knew not why it was there, nor whence it came. What is this? The sorrow. Why should it come? Why should there be sorrow in the physical world? And from where has it come?
Yes.
From where has this sorrow come? Why is it there at all in the physical world? The power that kindles mind was still withdrawn. Now she is down here, and the power that kindles mind, awakes mind, the sleep of mind has to be awakened. Kindle is to light a fire. And the power that lights a fire was not yet there in her. That's what he's saying. The power that kindles mind was still withdrawn. It is not yet entering into her. Okay, she has come down into the physical world. Heavy, unwilling were life's servitors. Now, who are the servitors of life? The senses.
Yes.
The senses are providing the necessary information to life. So they are the servitors of life. Okay, and he will say that very clearly a little further down. But these are like workers with no wages of delight. They are doing the work of providing the data of the senses to the life, but life is not rewarding them. In other words, there is no happiness at all. That's the implication.
Yes.
Okay, so sullen, the torch of sense refused to burn. There you are. Sense is not functioning. The torch of sense refused to burn. Her senses are giving the information. They are servitors of life, but they are not being encouraged or not being rewarded. So they are absolutely sullen. Sullen, unwilling, a little revolting.
And the
mild revolt.
Yes, and the sense refused to burn this
Yes.
torch of
Yes.
sense.
In other words, the senses are not working. The unassisted brain found not its past. Okay? And what was the past of Savitri? The glory of God up there. So it is not yet giving. Okay. Where is it gone? The unassisted brain found not its past. Only a vague earth nature held the frame. The frame is the body-mind life, and earth nature, the imperfections of nature, she is here. The power that kindles mind has not yet come down into her. That's what he's saying.
And it's the frame is her body that has entered this earth.
That's the body, yeah. But not only the body, but also the mind and the life. The body, mind, the outer nature. Then, but now she stirred, Her life shared the cosmic load. So now the consciousness of the waking life is now slowly coming into her. The senses also start working and she becomes aware of the physical world. Okay, that's what is being said. Now she stirred. Her life shared the cosmic load. Now, this is a passage where Mother has marked for painting and music. At the summons of a body's voiceless call, Sremdo is so fond of oxymorons always. So, there is a yearning in the body, but it is not articulated. That's what it means. At the summons of a body's voiceless call, what happened? Her strong, far-winging spirit travelled back to the yoke of ignorance and fate. Ignorance and fate is here. Back to the labor and stress of mortal days. Lighting a pathway through strange symbol dreams across the ebbing of the seas of sleep. So, when you are the ebbing, the ebb and flow. The flow is movement and the ebbing is the non-flow, which is stopping. So, and that is the sleep. And when you are sleeping, you have dreams which are often symbolic. They reveal to you. So that's the condition that she is in now. She is in that condition.
Her house of nature felt an unseen sway. Illumined swiftly were life's darkened rooms, and memory's casements opened on the hours, and the tired feet of thought approached her doors. All came back to her, earth and love and doom. The ancient disputants encircled her like giant figures wrestling in the night. The Godheads from the dim inconscient born awoke to struggle and the pang divine, and in the shadow of her flaming heart, at the somber center of the dire debate, a guardian of the unconsoled abyss, inheriting the long agony of the globe, a stone-still figure of high and godlike pain stared into space with fixed, regardless eyes that saw grief's timeless depths, but not life's goal. Afflicted by his harsh divinity, bound to his throne, he waited unappeased the daily oblation of her unwept tears, all the fierce question of man's hours relived, the sacrifice of suffering and desire earth offers to the immortal ecstasy began again beneath the eternal hand. Awake, she endured the moment's serried march, and looked on this green, smiling, dangerous world, and heard the ignorant cry of living things. Amid the trivial sounds, the unchanging scene, her soul arose, confronting time and fate. Immobile in herself, she gathered force. This was the day when Satyavan must die.
So we read from her house of nature. Now, this is a very interesting image he is using. Sremdo is using all the time images, and we have to, if you picture to yourself the image, it becomes very interesting, and we have to also see the words which are the images. So I always ask my students to do that. In Life Divine also he does that. In Synthesis also he uses images all the time. In Savitri, everything is images. Okay. So here also we'll see what the image is. Her house of nature felt an unseen sway. So which is the house of nature? Obviously the body, mind, life. The outer nature is the house of nature. The house of soul is different. The house of soul is up, but the house of nature is here, down here. Illumined swiftly were life's darkened rooms, and memory's casements opened on the hours, and tired feet of thought approached her doors. Now, the words are interesting. So, house of nature felt an unseen sway, illumined swiftly were life's darkened rooms. Okay, and memory's casements, the windows, okay, opened on the hours. We'll see what the hours means. And the tired feet of thought approached her doors. So there is a house, there are the windows, there are the rooms which are dark, okay, which is there. The lower part of your being is dark. It's not illumined at all. Even the mind is not illumined, okay. These are all dark. And memory's casements, it's like opening a window. A casement is a window. And then memory is coming, flooding back into you. Oh, it is today Savitri says that Satyavan must die. The memory comes back. Until now she has been up there. So now suddenly she is waking up here. And the tired feet of thought approach her doors. Thought also is slowly coming in. They're tired, but even thought is entering into her mind. Before that, it was silence. You remember, he is talking of silence. Okay? In the deep cleft of silence. So, she was silent. Now, thought is coming into her. There is no silence. She is waking up to the normal human consciousness. Tired feet means very slowly it is coming in. That's what it means. It's an image. A beautiful image. So, her house is there and light is slowly coming in. Memory is coming back to where she is, and also the thought also is coming in. Oh, I am in the physical world here and today Satyavan is going to die. Until now, she was up there and she was disconnected with the world. Now she is connected with the world. So, and the tired feet of thought approached her doors. All came back to her, earth and love and doom. So, the love also comes back and earth. Not up there, not the silence twixt the two realms. Now it is earth, she is here. And love and doom also. Now she remembers that Satyavan has to die. The ancient disputants encircled her. Now, who are the ancient disputants? This is what he is again giving a hint of the poem. In the next canto, he will tell you what Savitri is all about, what the poem is all about, the issue. What am I going to reveal to you? That's the next canto. But here, he is already giving a hint. The ancient disputants, you can say in many ways, spirit and matter. They are the ancient disputants. Spirit is trying to wake up matter, and matter is trying to deny it and refuse it. That's why Life Divine you have to read to understand what he's saying. Okay, so the ancient disputants, ancient from the beginning, it is like that. Okay, encircled her like giant figures wrestling in the night. The night is a night of ignorance, and slowly there is an evolution, but they are fighting with each other. Night is refusing to be lighted, and the light is insisting on night being lighted. So that's the the Godheads from the dim inconscient born. So there are Godheads in the overmind consciousness, but there are gods also at the inconscient also. And what that is, he is going to tell us now. Okay? Awoke to the struggle and the pang divine. The pang here is divine. Okay? So, awoke to the struggle. Pang divine again is an oxymoron. Opposites. Okay? So, but he is establishing, because in Life Divine he establishes clearly what others refuse. He says spirit and matter are connected. The higher is the lower in a diminished form, diminished and distorted form. So that's why the pang divine. Okay, so then, and in the shadow of a flaming heart, at the somber center of the dire debate. Here again he is giving you a word. Dire is urgent, something serious. And debate. What is the debate? The debate that is to come between between Savitri and death, Yama. That's a debate. In fact, there are a whole canto on this debate between love and death. Okay, so a guardian of the unconsoled abyss. Now this is a very interesting line. Unconsoled abyss. The abyss is the inconscient, the deepest part of it. There is no consolation there at all. There is no excusing. It is fully dark and fully evil. That's what he's saying. No consolation at all. Unconsoled. Okay? It's a very interesting word, because usually to console someone is try to encourage and try to calm down. But here it is unconsoled. There is no positive element at all in the debate. And look at the alliteration again. At the somber center of the dire debate, a guardian of the unconsoled abyss. So there is a guardian for the abyss. Again a hint. Who is this guardian of the abyss? Death. Yama. Okay. He is the death. So he is introducing now, he is talking of debate, and now he is talking of the guardian, which is death. Okay. A guardian of the unconsoled abyss, inheriting the long agony of the globe. At the lower level in the abyss, the agony has been there from a long time. It is there from a long, long time. It's there right from the beginning. A stone-like figure of high and godlike pain stared into space with fixed, regardless eyes. Now, this is again very interesting. Stone-like still figure of high and godlike pain stared into space with fixed, regardless eyes. Regardless eyes, again an oxymoron. He is seeing, but he is not seeing. What is he not seeing? He is not seeing either pleasure or pain or anything. Absolutely unconcerned. He is just looking on. Regardless eyes. And he is staring into space. Normally, the word staring is very interesting, because when you see someone staring, you feel that there is no thought, there is no emotion, nothing. He's just like that. And also the stone-like figure. Now this is very interesting, because stone-like figure.
I have stone still.
Stone still figure. Okay? Yeah, stone still figure. I am interpreting. Stone still figure. The stone is still, not moving. Okay? And it's a figure of high and godlike pain. Now this image of this statue is often used to describe the silence and the unconcerned, calm outlook on life without being disturbed. Okay? There are two French poets, Sully Prudhomme and also, what's the other one? And they have used this image of stone-like. Okay? So, yeah, one is Sully, he was a Nobel Prize winner, Sully Prudhomme. And the other one is, but both were Nobel Prize winners. They are poets, and he has also used that because he had the experience of the cosmic, the self, and he says it's a stone-like, statue-like. Le regard d'un statue, absolutely unconcerned in that consciousness. Here also, death is being portrayed as absolutely unconcerned with any sorrow. It is his duty to do this, collect the dead. Okay. Inheriting the long agony of the globe, a stone still figure of high and godlike pain stared into space with fixed, regardless eyes that saw grief's timeless depths, but not life's goal. He is seeing only what he has to see, the law that he has to maintain in the physical world. By the way, the word Yama is very interesting. Yama is the god of death. But Yama is from the root yam, means to control, to maintain the laws. What is control? Maintain the laws. Then you are controlling. Okay? And what is the law here? Death. Ignorance. So these has to be maintained. So he is a divine who is maintaining this the rules and laws that he has made himself. That's what is being said. That saw grief's timeless dress, but not life's goal. What is life's goal? The highest. You have to reach the highest. So Yama is not seeing the highest. He is seeing only what he has to do here. Maintain the laws. Afflicted by his harsh divinity. There you are. He is divine. But at the lower level, seems to be harsh. Not bothered at all about suffering of others. This is very interesting because in the debate of love and death, Yama is first arguing with Savitri, but later on when Savitri insists that no, she wants the change and she wants Satyavan back, it's a symbol. She wants death to be conquered in the physical world. When she wants Satyavan back, it only means that death must not be a law here. So finally, death himself changes into his upper divinity. He becomes the divine.
His body was eaten by light.
Yes. Yeah. So, afflicted by his harsh divinity, bound to his throne, he waited unappeased. Now this is very interesting because he is bound to his throne. He is the king and he has to do his duty. He is waiting. Waiting for what? He has not yet been satisfied. A dead soul has not come to him. He has to be appeased. Now this is very interesting because it's not an image or a mythology or anything. Death has got his attendants. And the attendants go and pick the soul that is about to die and take him to the realm of death. So it's a very interesting thing because Srivata also has mentioned this somewhere. It's very interesting. Death must have his due. Okay? So when someone is destined to die, the attendants come and take them. Okay? Take the death. But if it is the one they come to, if he is not destined to die, then they go and take another. This is something very interesting actually. Someone is expected to die. If he doesn't die, somebody else dies near about. It sounds very strange, but it is true. So, bound to his end, he waits unappeased. And what is this? Why is he unappeased? The daily oblation of her unwept tears. The tears that she is shedding, okay, that's the oblation. This is a sacrifice to the god of death, the Yama. Of her unwept tears. She is not yet, the tears are there, the sorrow is there, but she is not yet expressing it. Okay, that's what is meant by unwept. Okay, so all the fierce question of man's hours relived. So, fierce questions, death, suffering, what are all these things in the world? Why are they there at all? The fierce question of man's hours. Man's hours, when he's talking of hours, it is time and space. And when it is time and space, it's the physical world. Because the other is timeless and spaceless. So here you say, he is talking of the physical world. All the fierce question of man's hours relived. The sacrifice of suffering and desire earth offers to the immortal ecstasy began again beneath the eternal hand. So, the sacrifice of suffering and desire that earth offers to the immortal ecstasy. The divine is coming down and he is met with death and ignorance. That's what he's saying. Okay? Earth offers to the began again. What began? Suffering and desire and death. All these things started. And beneath the eternal hand. Now that's interesting. The hand that is there. Beneath the eternal hand. So, awake she endured the moment's serried march. The word serried is interesting. Serried is a sequence of one by one, an arrangement in order. So, when he is talking of the moment's serried march, he is talking of the hours that are going by in time, one by one. The sequence in time. Okay? That's what is meaning by serried march. Moments are marching. One moment, next moment, next moment, next moment. In other words, She is in time. She is not like above in the timeless. Before that she was in the timeless. Now she is in time. Okay. And looked on this green, smiling, dangerous world. Now, the world is beautiful. It is green, but it's also dangerous. Okay. So this is what is again an oxymoron. Okay. The world is beautiful, but it is very dangerous. It's full of suffering, pain, ignorance. Okay. And heard the ignorant cry of living things. Now she is aware of the physical world and she is hearing the cry of living things. The ignorant cry. Among the trivial sounds, the unchanging scene, her soul arose, confronting time and fate. There you are. So, time and fate. Fate is clearly again with an F cap. So, what is the fate? Death. So, she is going to challenge death. She is going to confront death. Immobile in herself, she gathered force. Gathered force for what? To fight death. This was the day when Satyavan must die. The first canto, Sri Aurobindo wrote 50 times. So, the next canto is the issue. And what is the issue? What is this whole poem about? He is going to tell you. What is the issue? It's the establishment of the divine consciousness in the physical world. Conquest of death. The coming of the supramental race. All this is the issue. That's what this poem is all about.
Thank you, Ranga.
We'll take it up next time.
Namaste.